Hi, in this video series we're going to be talking about making private label rights products unique. So the PLR stands for private label rights products. So what are private label rights products? Well, private label rights products allows you to claim authorship of that certain product. So let's say, for example, you have a private label article. They give you private label rights to that article. Basically, all that means is that somebody has written that article and they are acting as a ghostwriter, meaning that you can stamp your name on that article as the author. At the same time, you can change the article to whatever way you like. So basically, private label rights products, whether you're using articles, ebooks, videos, or audio or other things like software or source code, and you don't have enough time or money to hire someone to write the content you need, private label rights is a great way to start. It's also a great way to break down writer's block, especially if you're trying to write an article and you just don't know where to start. You're sitting there for 15 to 30 minutes and you've written the intro but you just can't continue. That's a great time to buy private label rights to articles that are similar to that niche. Now, here's the big problem here. You might be asking, so there's so many other people purchasing the same private label product. So let's say, for example, the private label articles, 100 other people purchased it, or let's say even 1,000 other people purchased rights to that specific private label article. How can you compete with them? Now, I will say this, a majority of people will stamp their name on it and they will use the private label article as is. They won't do anything as to changing the article or things like that. They will simply stamp their name on it and maybe do a little changes here and there, but as far as the main content goes, even if they change the keywords and they don't change the rest, then you're going to be part of that bigger crowd. So, to stand out from all of this crowd and to compete with them, it's easy. Basically, you use private label products simply to use it as an idea, as a starting point, so that you can get over whether it's writer's block, idea block, or whatever. But you change it so that it's very different. You can change the graphics, you can change the content. If it's a video, you can change, intro screens, audio. If it's a software, you can change other little things of it by using the main idea. And the main idea allows you to not have to start from scratch, and you can continue on from that point. It basically allows you to save time and save a lot of money. Because to hire somebody to write an article, you can range anywhere from $3 to $10. You can talk about writing an ebook from scratch, range from anywhere from several hundred to 1,000. Or software programs anywhere from several hundred to several thousand. So we're talking about a lot of money you can save and a lot of time, so you don't have to start from scratch. So here's what you just learned. You learned that PLR products that are unique have higher conversion rates. With that in mind, let's move ahead. Another thing that I want to talk about is that you can shape private label rights products into any form you like. Think about it. Let's say you're looking at a private label articles. You're looking at 10, 20 articles that are in the same related sub-niche. And you can put them all together as a report, as an ebook, and you want to change it around dramatically so that they become a unique ebook. Add your own experiences and things like that. You could also take articles, you could take the ebooks, split it up into reports. You could take reports, turn it into videos. You could take articles, turn it into audio articles, take the ideas of ebooks or reports or videos and turn them into source code or things like that. So that's the wondrous part of private label rights products. It's the idea that matters the most. It's not exactly the stuff that's in it, but it's the idea that you can carry forth and create many, many things. Now, it's always good to check out the license before you buy the private label products, because this will tell you what you can and what you can't do. So you want to know your objectives first But if you know what your objectives are first, then you can go ahead with your goal. Alright, so before we move into the actual videos where we're actually talking about articles, ebooks, audio ebooks, things like that, I'm going to talk briefly about tools that you need before getting started with those videos. Of course, with anything like private label articles, private label books, I would recommend just basically some sort of tool editor, anything like Microsoft Word, OpenOffice, which is free, things like that. So basically anything that can edit whatever ebook you're looking at, whatever article you're looking at, and things like that. So that's fairly simple. You don't need anything, complex or anything like that. Now, when you dive into things like, let's say, private label audiobooks, and let's say that you want to add music to it. Now, it depends on you. Whether you use Camtasia Studio, that's fine. If you use Camtasia Studio, you can pretty much complement using that and dealing with private label videos later. So if you get that one tool, you can pretty much cover audio articles, audio ebooks, private label videos, and things like that. Now, in this video, I'm going to assume that let's try to stick with a lot of free tools, and to lower your costs. So let's say that you're dealing with private label audio ebooks. I would highly recommend you use a program called Audacity. And I'm going to use Audacity in this tutorials in video number 4, where we talk about private label audio ebooks or audio articles. And that is a free tool. It's a really good tool, and let me show you how it looks like. Okay, so I'm going to go to Google here so you can see what I'm typing in. If you go to Audacity here, as you can see here, you'll notice that there's a free audio editor and recorder. So if you go there, or you go straight to the download link, as you can see here, you can go ahead and download it. Whether you use Windows, Macintosh, or Linux, just download the file. Download the stable version, of course. And what you're going to need is this. You're going to need this file, which is basically in the installation file, and you're going to need the lame MP3 encoder. The reason why you need that is that Audacity, once you convert it to an MP3 file, that's what Audacity is going to use to convert whatever audio into MP3. So download this file, and that's it. The next thing we're going to look at is private label videos. As I recommended earlier, Camtasia Studio is actually the best way and best route to go. So I'll actually go over Camtasia Studio with you. However, just to keep your costs down low, I'm going to use Windows Movie Maker as far as editing goes on private label videos, so that we can keep your options open, things like that. So we'll type that here. And next we have private label source code, or private label software. Simply put, what that is basically software, or people give you rights to edit the software. Now, most people do not know what to do with private label source code. They simply stamp their name on it and start selling it, which is great, and it's a little different than private label articles because you're sort of reselling the product. Now, private label source code generally is higher costs, or you can sell it for more just because it's a piece of software. And software is generally a higher perceived value. Now, the big question is, what tools do you need? You don't need any tools. In fact, private label source code, I would highly recommend you hire a software programmer. And I'll show you how you can hire a software programmer for cheap. There are ways of communicating with programmers in a fashion where if it sounds easy to them, the cheaper they give you a cheaper quote. If it sounds too complicated, you say something like clone this or clone that, or I want something similar to that, then most likely the programmer is going to give you a price that is 5 or 10 times higher than what you should be paying. So I'll show you several tips and tricks to go about that as a software developer myself. So let's go ahead and move on. In the next videos, video 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, I'll take different types of private label rights products. Private label articles in video 2, private label ebooks in video 3, private label audio ebooks in video 4, private label videos in video 5, private label source code software in video 6. So I'll be taking each and individual types of PLR and will show you how you can make them unique step by step so that you can profit off of them individually and increase your conversions.